Good morning. As we go to the second reading of the Parsha, portion of Ve'era, we are holding on chapter 6, verse number 14. These are the following, the heads of the fathers' houses. Bnei Ruvain, the children of Reuven, B'chai Yisrael, was the eldest of the Jewish nation. Chanechu, Falu, V'chetzrein, V'karmi, Eile Mishpachas Reuven. This is the family of Reuven. So Rashi says, since Scripture has traced the lineage of the tribe of Levi as far as Moshe Aaron, because Moshe Aaron commences to trace of their lineage in order to their birth. So it starts from Reuven. And it starts from Reuven, even though really he wants to give us the lineage of Levi. Bnei Shimon, and these are the children of Shimon: Yemal, V'Yamin, V'Ohad, V'Yachin, V'Tzeichar, V'Shol ben Aknanis. Eile Mishpachei Shimon, this is the family of Shimon. V'Eile Shmeis b'nei Levi, and this is the family of Levi, L'Toldesam, to their birth. Gershon, Kahas, Merari. Gershon, Kahas, and Merari. Ushnei Chaye Levi, and Levi lived Sheva V'Shleishim Hashana. Levi lived for 137 years. So we know the two tribes that we know exactly how long the two of the tribes lived. Yosef, he lived 110 years. And then it's told us about Levi. Levi lived for 137 years. So Rashi says, Levi. Why is it important to tell us how long Levi lived? To let us know how many years were in bondage. For as long as the tribes were alive, there was no bondage. As it says, now Joseph died as well as his brothers, and afterwards a king arose. So Levi outlived them all. So if you can figure out, we can figure out how long, and we'll soon see in a moment, how long was Levi, how old was Levi when he was, he's 137 years old. How old was he when he came to Egypt, and how old was he, and how long was he till the shibud, the slavery started? Bnei Gershon, the children of Gershon, Livni, V'Shimi, L'Mishpachos. Ubnei Kahas, verse 18, and the children of Kahas was Amram, Yitzhar, V'Chevron, V'Uziel. Ushnei Chaye Kahas, and the life of Kahas was Shalish V'Shleishim Hashana, was 133 years. So with this calculation, Asher, we learned the 400 years that the Jewish people, which Scripture talks about, it was not spent in Egypt alone. Rather, was calculated from the day Yitzchak was born. This can be calculated as dust. For Kahas was one who went down to Mitzrayim. Now calculate all of his years, and the years of Amram, his son, and the 80 years of Moshe. You'll find that they total 400. So many sons' years are included in their father's years. So we know that it started off much more before going actually down to Egypt. So actually we know it started when Isaac was born, 400 years. And we know that that Yaakov went down to Mitzrayim. There was only 210 years left of the 400 years. So it means it was 190 years after Isaac was born. And Jacob went down to Mitzrayim. He was 130 years old. And there was 210 years left. So you now go calculate how many years did Levi live and how many years you'll figure out there was a leftover, something like 90 years of bondage. The name Merari and the children of Merari was Machli Mushi. Eile Mishpachos Levi L'Toldesam. This is the family of Levi. Vayikach Amram, as Yecheved Daidasai, Amram took Yecheved, his aunt, Loili Isha, for a wife. Mateleis Aaron, and he had Aaron of Esmeshna. Shnei Chaya Amram, and Amram lived Sheva Ushleishim Mashana. Aaron lived 137 years. Yecheved Daidasai, Yecheved, his aunt, his father's sister. Yecheved was Amram's sister. So he married his aunt, the daughter of Levi, the sister of Kos. So Amram married his aunt, which is it's prohibited in the Torah later on. After Matan Torah, we know one of the prohibitions of the Torah is to marry an aunt. You can marry your uncle, but you cannot marry your aunt. And Amram married his aunt. And in essence, comes out that he married to somebody he wasn't allowed to in the Torah. And Moshe Rabbeinu comes out from a union, this is before Matan Torah, of two people that after Matan Torah were prohibited from getting married. God likes to have interesting situations. Ubnei Yitzhar, and the children of Yitzhar was Kairach, V'Nefeg, V'Zichri. Ubnei Uziel, the children of Uziel was Mishal, V'Tzafam, V'Sisri. Vayikach Aaron es Elisheva bas Nadav achis Nachshon leElisha. And Aaron married Elisheva, the daughter of Aminadav, the sister of Nachshon, as a wife. And he had Nadav, Avihu, Eliezer, V'Isama. He had these four sons. Rashi says, why is it important to tell us the brother of the Kala? Why you need to know the brother of the Kala? So here he tells you a general thing, maybe it's too late for some of us. Here we learn when you marry a woman, you should check out her brothers. Make sure that she has good brothers who are going to be your brother-in-law. So it's very important according to this verse. Check out the brothers. You'll know if from the brothers, maybe you'll know a little bit about her. So Aaron married Elisheva. He made sure who Nachshon was. We know Nachshon was a great guy. Nachshon was the one who jumped into the sea to split the sea. So he married. His brother-in-law was a chavraman, as they say. And the children of Kairach were Asiv, Elkanah, Aviasov. This is the family of Karchi. Eliezer ben Aaron, and Eliezer the son of Aaron Lakach b'bnei Putiel, Loili Isha, Vateles Pinchas. Eliezer married Moshe Rabbeinu's sister-in-law. So an interesting, all in the family. Eliezer and Moshe married sisters. Vateles Pinchas, and he had Pinchas, which is going to be later told about in the Torah. Now, this is no chronological order, because we know Pinchas was born much later. Pinchas was born after Aaron became a Cohen in the desert. So not much later, but a couple of years after. Before he was born after the building of the Mishkan in the desert, Pinchas was born. So here the Torah is talking about the future. We're still in Egypt, and the Torah talks about Pinchas. So Rashi says he married the daughter of Putiel. This one was one of the names of Yisrael. His name was Putiel. He had a name Putiel. Because Yisrael Putiel, he was the one who fattened he used to be a kohen, he used to be a priest in Midian. He used to fatten the calves. And he also came out of from Yosef also that he defied and fought against his own passions. So he had Pinchas. That's why later Pinchas had an interesting lineage. He comes out of Yisrael, and he comes out of Yosef, and together he became what he became. Who Aaron and Moshe? This is Aaron and Moshe. Sha'am Hashem lahem ha'itzias bnei Yisrael me'eretz Mitzrayim. This is the Aaron and Moses, which God told them to take the Jews out of Egypt. Al tzivosam, on their allegiance. Rashi says, what does this mean? That is Aaron and Moshe, who are mentioned above, whom Yecheved had a child to Amram, is Aaron and Moshe, and to the Moshe to whom the Lord said, etc. In some places, just place Aaron before Moshe. Sometimes you see Aaron goes before, and in places, sometimes Moshe before Aaron, to show that they were equal, and they acted as equal. Moshe and Aaron were a phenomenal team. And as we know, they were a phenomenal team, these two brothers, Moshe and Aaron, throughout the journey of the Jews in the desert. Al tzivosam, bitzivosam, with their legions. All in the legions according to their tribes. There are examples. Al means with. Verse 27. Hey, they were the one who spoke to Pharaoh. Melech Mitzrayim, to the king of Egypt. Lahotzias bnei Yisrael me'eretz Mitzrayim, to take the Jewish people out of Mitzrayim. Who? Moshe and Aaron. They are Moshe and Aaron. Now she's going to tell us why the Torah keeps on saying this. There was they who were the ones who commanded, and they're the ones who were fulfilled. So now she says they remained in their mission and in their righteousness from the beginning to the end. Moshe and Aaron didn't move, didn't budge, even though they had inner conflicts and outer conflicts and struggles with the Jews and with the Egyptians, self-understood. Moshe and Aaron stayed fast to their mission. And it came to pass on the day that God spoke to Moses in the land of Mitzrayim. So Rashi says, even though it's part of today's chitas, but really this verse is connected to the next verse tomorrow, the beginning of the chitas of tomorrow. That completes the chumash of the day. We'll now go to the end of chapter 12 of Tanya, where the Alter Rebbe is in essence putting a foundation of what a middleman is. Because if everybody should become a middleman, we need to know exactly what a middleman is. So the Alter Rebbe said a middleman never does a sin. Why? If he has the Yetzer Hara, if he has an evil inclination, and he has a desire to do sin, why doesn't he do it? Because he has mind over matter. And the second it comes into his mind to do something, to think about something, to say something, he pushes it away. And that is because why? Because he loves God. It's as simple as that. He never lost his godly soul. His godly soul is strong and well too. And he loves the Eibishter. So that's what he says. The Alter Rebbe continues. Because the impression retained in his mind from davening and from learning, when he davens and when he learns, when he puts his animalistic soul to sleep, so even though later he goes to the world and he gets involved in worldly matters, and automatically his animalistic soul says, wait a second, let's also think about Gashmias. Let's also think about physicality. Let's also enjoy the world. Let's enjoy the animalistic world. He remembers, wait a second. I love God. I love God. And that alone, that memory is engraved within him, and he automatically controls himself. To prevail and dominate the evil, the animal soul, not the evil, we're not talking about doing a sin. Talking about even craving. So a Beinoni doesn't have any cravings. He has a craving, but he controls his cravings. So that in preventing evil, that desire from gaining supremacy and domination over the city, which is his body. From carrying out his craving from potential to actual. So that's the Beinoni. He loves the Eibishter. He loved him when he davened. And after he prayed, he still has that effect that whenever something comes into his mind to suddenly start craving other things, he says, no, I might have the potential, but I'm not going to do it. To even clothe itself in the organs of the body in actual speech and deed. Even to think about it. To even think about evil, he stops it. So furthermore, even his mind, with respect to a sinful thought, the evil is not the domination and power to causing God to think such thoughts. And the English is consensually that they thinks it, he continues to think about it. Understand? So that it comes to his mind, an evil thought. That's everybody has natural. He has typhus. He has desires. Every person has desires. So that it comes to his mind, but they consciously thinks about it. That have been, he says, no. He pushes it away. Right away. That he should cause his mind to accept it willingly. God forbid, he says, I'm not accepting anything willingly. Everything that I do it for a purpose. Because I have mind over matter. I have a seichel. So I know what I'm doing. So I don't just do things because of natural things. Just because I have natural tendencies, I do things out of nature. I do things haphazardly. I just do things because that's the moment feeling. That's not a Beinoni. A Beinoni is a man who thinks, who uses his head, and everything that he does, he's controlled. He's controlled. Self-control. It's a very powerful thing to use my head. And everything I do, I think about it. Choice. I have free choice. Most of us do things and we're out of control. Lost our free choice. Beinoni never loses his free choice. And he chooses not to do it. Not that he doesn't want to do it. He might even want to do it. But he doesn't do it. Because he uses his free choice to say, I don't want to do it. That's the thing. He doesn't allow, that's the natural, because he has an animalistic soul, so the natural flow of information that comes to his mind, naturally, because he has an animalistic soul, what happens is comes naturally up to his mind to think something negative, to say something negative. The second it travels up to his mind, he pushes it away. He says, no, thank you. And averts his mind from it. The second he realizes that it's not a good thought. And refuses to accept it even as a subject for mere conscious thought. I feel I don't want to think about it because I know that if I start thinking about it, it's not going to be good. So I stop right from the beginning. That's like somebody walks over to you and says, I want to tell you something. Say, I don't want to hear about it. Not let's hear about it. And then I'll tell you I don't want to agree. I don't want to hear about it. So why should I hear about it and try to diffuse it? I'm not interested. Not interested. Imagine it, we can do that every time somebody comes and wants to talk to us, Lashon Hara, We'd say, I'm not interested. I don't want to hear about. Why should I hear about? And then now I heard something negative. Now I have to deal with it. Either go against it. I don't want to listen. I don't want to hear. Why? Person might say, "Why you don't like lashon hara?" Yeah, I do like lashon hara, but I don't want to do it. I'm my own free choice. I'm not interested in talking. Why can't you do? Why can't I do that? I 100% can do that. That doesn't mean I'm not going to talk lashon hara later. But right now, I could say I'm not interested. I have no interest. I have no interest right now. Come to me later. Hopefully, the person won't come later. Hopefully, later I'll say the same thing. I'm not interested. I'm doing that my free choice. Not that I don't want to talk lashon hara. I might want to talk it, but right now I'm going to have control. I'm going to say to myself, I'm not interested. Surely for the Bailey to say, maybe I'll do it. I feel a dababe, I'll speak about it. Because think about it, I listed a very important line down to that. If a person willingly indulges in such thoughts, at the moment he indulges himself, he's a rasha. So here's the difference. That I see something, or I hear something, or I have a moment of thought, that's natural. My eyes see things, my ear hears things, my heart desires things. So that's natural. You can't blame a Baini from a moment that it comes to his mind, or he looks at something that he shouldn't look at, or he hears things that he shouldn't hear. The Baini automatically, in his free choice, that second that it comes to him, he says, bye. I'm not continuing. So it's not willingly. So the Baini is unwilling to entertain, to continue a thought of negative thought, or to continue a negative speech, and for surely a negative action. Because a Baini ain't a rasha afilu shachas lo'ilam. Because as I said before, a Baini does not do any willingly sins. Because he's not a rasha. And so too things between one person and another person. The second the Baini thinks negative about something else, somebody else, or he's a kina, or he's jealous of somebody else, that's his new, he has an animalistic soul. So he has jealousy, a kas, he has anger, the Baini has anger. A kepeda, he has a grudge. So he has all these evil tendencies of jealousy and animosity. He has hatred. The Baini's got it all. But the second it comes into his mind to use it out, he pushes it away. He bars them from his mind and will, refusing even to think about it, because that's where it starts. So the second he comes, he looks at the guy, and now he suddenly thinks, oh, I don't like that. He pushes it away. He says, no, can't think negative about somebody else. The second he thinks the jealousy of somebody, the second somebody angers him, he can get angry. The guy's angering him. And he has anger. The Baini has anger. The middleman has anger. Nevertheless, he pushes it away. That's mind over matter. I have the right to get angry. I have anger. The guy is angering me. But I'm going to have free choice. I'm going to have free choice. I'm going to show my free choice. And I'm not going to get angry. Ezu Gibber, who is a strong person, a Gibber, a mighty man, a person who conquers his own Yetzer Hara. He doesn't allow it. I have free choice. Now you understand with the story of Mitzrayim, of Pharaoh. Pharaoh can harden his heart. That's his nature. The Eibishter gave Pharaoh the nature of a hardened heart. But he didn't take away his free choice. God never takes away a person's free choice. And I could say no, and the Pharaoh could have said no. The Eibishter does not take away it never took away the Pharaoh's free. He said, I hardened his heart. The truth is, God hardens my heart. He hardens all our hearts. That's the challenge. So we're all Pharaoh. The Pharaoh could have said no. You want me, I should put the Jews in slavery? No. Oh, you're hardening my heart? Fine. Still saying no. I still have free choice. Or I'll put them in slavery. I'll give them a very comfortable slavery. No. He took God's hardening of his heart and he made it even more harder. So that, oh, God will harden me, I'll become harder. Since I have the freedom to be not a nice person, I'll be even more not nice. That's what the Pharaoh did. The truth is, that's what we do. God gives us a tendency, a negative tendency of jealousy, anger, and we use it out to the fullest. What do you want? I have an angry tendency. I have a jealous tendency. So I'll use it out even more than even God wanted me to use it out for. And in that way, I've lost my choice. I've lost my free choice. I became a slave to my tendencies, which the Eibishter gave me that tendency. I become a slave to my emotions. The Beinoni does not allow that. The Beinoni does not allow that even by thought. In the second it comes to a thought, the aspect of anger, of jealousy, he says, I'm going to choose not to do that because that's my choice. So even though I know that I have jealousy, I know that. I'm not going to lie to myself that I'm not a jealous person. I'm not going to be in denial that I'm not an angry person. I am, but I'm anger management. I learned how to control my anger. So that's where a person is not in denial. He knows he has certain evil tendencies because he has an nefesh of Bahamas. He has an animalistic soul. So he knows every person has certain, as we learned in Tanya before, every person has certain tendencies that are not good. From the day he was born, the Eibishter gave him those tendencies. Whether it's jealousy, desires, or anger, whatever the tendency may be. And it's the way I was born. Take me the way I am. No, nobody, even though God gave you these tendencies, God gave you a seichel, God gave me a mind. And that's what your free choice is. Your free choice is in your mind. The Beinoni has a strong mind. He has a very strong mind. A Rasha has a weak mind. He's a weak mind. He's easily persuaded. He's easily convinced. It's hard for him to stay focused. You see? His mind will prevail over the dominant feel and the feeling of his heart to do the exact opposite. So the Beinoni says, oh, I know I can do it. I know I have the potential. I know I have everything ready. I have the anger. I have it all. I don't have to go find the anger. I got it right there. It's right there. I'm ready to go. But he says, you know what? That guy's trying to make me angry. I'm going to go the 180 degree the other way. I am going to conduct him. He's pushing all the buttons. That's why this is difficult. He's pushing all the right buttons, or she's pushing all whatever. I am going to go the other way. I'm going to act with him in kindness. As opposed to the quality of severity where hatred, anger originates. I'm going to go with midas hachesed. I'm going to go and act. Why? I choose that. I have the right to choose that. And to display towards his fellow a disproportionate love. Lisbel Memelin, suffering from him, ad ketzeachen. This is what a person should do. Show kindness instead of anger. Repay a person's negative with total positive. Not to get angry. Not to repay him, not to do revenge. Respond in kindness. On the contrary, to repay offenders with favors. This is a deep thing. But that's what a Beinoni does. As the Zohar writes, Lilmaid mi Yosef v'Macha. We should all learn, and that's how we read the Parsha every year. Learn from Yosef and his brothers. Any person would say today, Yosef would have the right to revenge his brothers. He would have the right. They wanted to kill him. They threw him into a pit. They sold him as a slave. They lied to their father for 22 years. Who would be angry at Yosef that he went now and taught his brothers a lesson and throw them all into the jail and give them back what he gave to them, what they gave to him? Who would stand up and say, Yosef, you're not right? Everybody would say, Yosef, you're 100% right. But Yosef did the total opposite. Why? How did Yosef have that? Because I believe in God. And if I believe in God, then nobody does anything wrong to me. Everything that happens to me is min hashamayim. That's free choice. That was Yosef's free choice. That was Joseph's total free choice. And Yosef showed us all what it means to repay negative with good. Because he said, I can't repay you negative because you did nothing to me. You did nothing. The Eibishter did everything to me. That I was thrown into the pits, God. That I was thrown to jail is God. The Eibishter did everything. God did everything. And ultimately, what did God do all this negative for the greatest positive that could ever happen in the world? That is a Beinoni. That is what we need to strive for. I know it's very difficult, and that's why we say every morning, and please God, don't give me a challenge, because I don't know if I could live up to this kind of a situation. But that's why Chassidim would say, Halavai Beinoni. I wish I can reach up to the level of a Beinoni, because I could. If I had mind over matter, I could reach up to the level of a Beinoni. And we should try it. The Rambam says the best way to do things is to try it. Try it one time. See what happens if you try it. You turn back negative into positive. You take a negative situation. So we're all Russians. We are all a Russia v'toivloi. We're all a Russia that has good in it. On us. That's what we are. We are wicked that are good. And the question is, how good are we? Meaning that we could all be very good, and we have this wickedness that once in a while, boom, comes out. And then we do tshuva. We repent. We ask I'm sorry. We always ask I'm sorry because we're good people. So we ask I'm sorry. Even if we think we're right, that we got angry and we screamed at the guy, and we apologize because we're good. We're good people. So you're right. We're all in the level. Even Rosh Hashanah is a pretty good level, my friends. But we need to reach the level of a Beinoni. That's our journey. Our journey, and that's the journey of the Tanya, is to reach the level of a Beinoni. That's our journey. And we can do it because we have free choice. The second you say you can't do it, means you have you've given away your free choice. And as Maimonides writes, that the most important principle Yiddishkeit and the most important principle humanity is your free choice. Nobody should take away your free choice. That's slavery. That's true slavery. When someone takes away your free choice, that's true slavery. Today is the 23rd day of the month, my dear friends. The Tillim of the day is 108, 109, 110, 111, 112. So 108 to 112, and you would do the chitats of the day. And I wish you all a beautiful and wonderful day. And Mitzvah, we'll see you all tomorrow at 8 o'clock. Tomorrow is a special day, the yahrzeit of the Alter Rebbe. So it's a very special day to learn Tanya on the day of his yahrzeit. That's tomorrow. And I will see you all, Mitzvah, tomorrow at 8 a.m. when we go start the new chapter, the 13th. Look at that. We're holding already the 13th chapter of Tanya. So we are trucking along. I wish you all a great day, a happy day, a healthy day, and God bless you all.